Hi guys, welcome to the Original Games UK and to another Elden Ring video, and this one is talking about the 5 things that I don't want to see in Elden Ring. Okay, so could cause a bit of controversy, but these are just my personal thoughts on the things that just I'm not wanting to see in Elden Ring. And starting off with one that to me impacted another game quite heavily, and just I find in the Soul series it just gets on my nerves. Like, I kind of get what it's in, but it is durability of weapons. And the other game that I mentioned is Breath of the Wild. So with the durability of weapons, I may have noticed it more because I'm someone who uses weapons that scale with dex, so like katanas, and it's so frustrating doing an entire area, getting to a boss and thinking like, oh, I've got this, and getting to a point in the boss where you're like, yep, this is going well, and then it comes up saying weapon at risk. And it's like, I get it adds to like realism away and making the game more challenging, but also, I don't know, I just find it a bit of like, it stops the flow of the game. So for me, durability of weapons is something that I do not want to see in the future. Yeah, so that's number 1. Number 2 is auto-saving. Now, some auto-saving is fine, you know, getting to a new area after you've done a boss, but every little thing. So I'll give an example of, you're in an area, you're fighting off some enemies, and you accidentally hit someone you're not meant to, like an NPC, and it's like, oh, they're gone, and then like the consequences of that, and then, you know, in certain games you can get them to come back, but so yeah, I do think the game should have autosaves, but not after everything, and not save as fast as what it does, where it's like, it's exactly where you left it, good in some ways, but bad in others. So I feel like what should happen is it should save all the time, but there should be auto saves that you can go back to. Now, how far back? You know, it could be like the last time you leveled up, like it could be ages ago, but at least the option's there. That's what I would just say, is just have the option of being able to go back to a previous save rather than it saving all the time, and you make a mistake that you weren't meant to, and then because of that, it's like you're penalised. Not cool. The third one, also another one that I think could be a bit of an issue, but it is long boss runs. So your gauntlet before you even get to the boss. It is part of the Soul series, so I'm not saying there shouldn't be like one at all, but some of them are just annoying. Some of the boss runs are more annoying than the boss, and then it's like, oh, I've got to do that boss again. Oh, I've got to get to the room again. So I think there should be a nicer way of doing it, that the bonfires to the bosses are just a bit closer, or some kind of mechanic where you can like pay souls before you go into the room or something, so it's like you immediately start outside the room. Risk reward. But then, so yeah, I don't know, playing around with something like that, but I'm sure you've all been there, that there's a boss that you're up against, you go against it first time and you think, yeah, I've got this in hand, and then you die on the way to the boss run, and you just get more and more salty, more and more pissed off, and then before you know it, you're like, so like in the fight, you're like thinking, oh god, if I die, I've got to do all that shit beforehand. So long boss runs, no, like boss runs to an extent, but yeah, so not for me. And the fourth one I mentioned in the videos of the top 10 things that I did want to see, and this one kind of links in with that, was one thing about gimmicky bosses. So it's one thing that I just do not like in the game, but especially when there's bosses that are gimmicky, annoying as anything, not proper like bosses. A perfect example would be Bed of Chaos, Dark Souls 1. So annoying, so pointless, but you have to do it to complete the game. So that's, I feel gimmicky bosses and bosses such as Bed of Chaos are fine, but not when they prevent you from progressing in the actual storyline. As a side thing, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's annoying, but it's okay. But just not in the main game. And then the last one is kind of an overall thing. Mechanics that break the flow of the game. And you're like, probably like, what do I mean? I shall explain. Mechanics that break the flow of the game, to me, are things like when you get cursed. Dark Souls 1, you get cursed, you have to purposely stop what you're doing because it caps your health to ridiculously low, and then you have to go and find items too. If you don't have them, you've got to go to a certain point, New Londo Ruins, that doesn't have a bonfire there, and it just, yeah, it's just time wasted. Whereas, so things like that, to me, break the flow of the game. The durability of weapons is one that's not so much as that, but it does it again. And then Dark Souls 2 with the capped health, where you have to use a certain item to be able to increase your health, max health, back to normal, just to its max. Then each time you die, that gets less and less and less, and it gets to a certain point where it's capped off. So, I mean, I feel like they've learnt from that one. I feel like they've learnt from these just in general, but kind of as a rule for the Souls games, something that I wouldn't want to come back is mechanics like that just break the flow of the game. Because these games are so good when you're slowly working away at it. You know, you've been slowly doing this area, persevering with it, and each time you get a bit further, you get a bit more, you're levelling up, and then just have that. So not only have you died, you then can't go back to necessarily get your souls because your health is so low that you've got to go and do something else. Or you've got no souls. Oh wait, I can't repair the weapon that I just lost after I died because now I don't have any souls on me. So yeah, that's what I mean. So the 5 things I don't want to see is durability of weapons, the autosave feature being non-stop, long boss runs, gimmicky bosses that prevent you from progressing with the main storyline, and mechanics that break the flow of the game. I hope those 5 made sense and you can understand where I'm coming from. Please let me know what things you do and don't want to see in Elden Ring, and whether the things that I spoke about in this video are things that you thought of, things that you agree with, things that you don't agree with. Let me know, and I shall see you in the next Elden Ring video.